What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. It is the 6th day of August, and here we are at about $64,200 with roughly 2 hours. Nope, not that much time. We've got more time than that. 10 hours, 21 minutes left in the day. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it. We did move up a little bit more yesterday, to my surprise. I wasn't expecting that we'd move up this high. It's still within the realm of acceptable possibilities. As long as we're not above 65.6K, I still believe that we're going to be moving lower. The fact that we moved up here is just another lower high. It's the same idea as it was yesterday, that we probably do continue to move down. We look at this here on a 1 hour time frame, and you can see that as you've built, as you're moving up, volume has died off. Right, you've gotten little spikes here and there, but here you're trying to move up again, and volume has just died off completely. Now volume is building as you're breaking out to the downside, or as you're moving down. I don't know if it's a breakout. It might look like a breakout in this kind of context, but I don't know if I would say you're breaking out yet. Probably more likely breaking out once we get below like 63.8K. But anyways, I do assume that we're moving lower. Looking at the 1 hour RSI, we had a hard time getting overbought, though we did flirt with it a good bit. We got really deep into the oversold zone when we were down here. We didn't really get that deep in the overbought zone, but still a decent try. Just no significant price action to come from it. No significant volume either. Stochastics are oversold. RSI looks like it wants to get oversold. MACD's building bearish momentum. You're still in this overall kind of bullish environment, to be fair, but things are starting to shift. Whenever I say kind of bullish environment, I mean maybe you do move back up to like 64.8K, something like that, and then you move lower. Maybe we go a little bit lower first, and then there's a bounce here, whatever. It's possible that we do move up a little bit from here before moving down. But it does look like we're shifting to the downside there. 4 hour time frame, rejecting the overbought zone. That's a clear signal, in my opinion, that we do go lower. When we last rejected the overbought zone, I don't know if I'd call that a rejection. We did get some follow through, a little bit of penetration there, but the rejection here, we rejected there. We did see a drop that came back down, gave us a higher low. In that same kind of context, maybe we see something that takes us down to 63K or lower. I'm assuming that we get a lower low, right? I'm assuming here we've got these higher or lower highs here. We broke out of this. This is the sweet spot to go short, and we probably do come down and see a lower low, in this kind of trajectory, in this kind of fashion, somewhere around 61.5K, 61K, somewhere in that area there. Rejecting the overbought zone, rejecting the overbought zone here, rejecting it there, more or less. Each time has resulted in negative price action to a semi-significant degree for this 4 hour time frame. We look at the stochastics. You're just beginning your downtrend. You look like you want to come down. Make that equivalent to like this part here, or this part here, or this part here, or this part here. Any one of those times, right there, boom, that was the beginning of this dropping phase. Boom, that was the beginning of this dropping phase. Same thing here. Do I need to say boom? And then the same thing here. Bam. Moving down every single time. The MACD has been green for quite a while. It's been green for quite a while, you guys. And that's okay. That's fine. You can be green for quite a while more. You can be green that whole time, but probably not. We look at this for what it's worth. You're typically not green this long. Okay, typically not. You crossed through the zero. That's a significant thing. The last 2 times you crossed through the zero here, let's look at those. Ready? When you cross through the zero here, look at what happened. Boom, nice rally. Whenever you cross through the zero here, boom, nice rally. You went from, by the time you crossed through it, it was about 60K, 60.5K. You went all the way up to 64K in a matter of a few days. Here, you crossed through it already a couple days ago, or like a day ago, and you haven't done anything significant. Maybe it's still building. Maybe this significant move is still building, but I don't know. With the fact that you've been green for so long, and the cross didn't provide anything significant, and you've got these rejection signs on the RSI and the beginnings of a downtrend on the stochastics, it makes sense to me that we're going to go lower, probably. Again, based on the 1 hour, there's a little bit of strength there. Maybe we move up a little bit, and we already have a little bit, but just a little bit. Whenever I say move up, I don't even know if I mean higher highs. I just mean from the current price before moving lower. That's for any of the turd nuggets out there who like to give me crap whenever I'm bearish at 64.2K. and then they watch the video and it's at 64.8K. They're like, haha, you were wrong. It's like, no. That's nominal. That's very, very negligible amounts of price difference on a $64,000 asset. A few $100, $800, whatever. $600, I guess is what that would be. Low to high. 0.5236 rejection. This is actually very common behavior when working your way down to the golden ratio. Mark my words, this is very common behavior when working your way down to the golden ratio. It's completely possible that instead of a lower low on this trend line, instead of some type of quick, I don't know actually, that how we've dropped, it's been like 3 days, 1 day drop here. I don't think we make it all the way down here in 1 day, but if we do, that's pretty damn close to the golden ratio. Maybe we break below this trend line. Maybe we go to the lower side of that trend line. Perhaps it takes more days. It's like a 3-day experience or a 1-week experience, but we probably do go to that golden ratio. Yeah. Sometime later this week or sometime early next week, I wouldn't be surprised if we were down there. How much of a drop is that from the current price? 5 to 6%. Cool. If Bitcoin's dropping 5 to 6%, I would assume a lot of the key altcoins that are pumping alongside of Bitcoin here, they're probably going to dump as well. Zcash, to thank, Ethereum, XRP, Doge, your main coins there. 64.3, 10 hours left in the day. Daily RSI, it's not looking the best, right? You've kind of broken structure here with these higher lows. And you showed that you wanted to hold it here, but then you back tested it as resistance. I don't like it. You've got higher highs in the RSI with lower highs in the price. It's hidden bearish divergence. Higher highs in the stochastics, lower highs in the price. Hidden bearish divergence. The MACD is crossed red. You're at the zero. It's like you want to cross back up. You might find support here. This very bearish daily MACD. You guys remember how bearish I've been on it since, really since like the very last week of July. It's actually turning into something potentially bullish here. Now I feel like I'm in an alternate universe because before everything was bearish, but the one thing that made me bullish. No. I'm sorry. Everything was bullish, but the one thing that made me bearish was the daily MACD. Now everything looks bearish, but the one thing that gives me a bullish vibe is this. You could be finding support here. If not, if you do continue to build bearish momentum, that would be pretty catastrophic for the price. I think that we'd be dealing with more than just a drop down to like 61.5K. I think we'd be dealing with more than that as time goes on. Who knows? Maybe this next drop literally kicks off the finale phase and we start to rally to the downside there. But a spectacular drop one way or another is what I'm thinking is going to happen. You've gotten oversold. You haven't gotten overbought. You struggle to get overbought. It seems as though you're showing weakness here in the daily RSI. The stochastics are at an area to reject. The MACD is the only thing that's a positive, but that positive goes away if we move down. If we move down at all, we start to build bearish momentum here at the zero where you should be finding support. I'm not counting on the MACD to be strong here because we crossed above the zero here and we got no positive results, like a very, very minimal positive result. No volume came in, nothing. No overbought readings on the RSI, nothing, man. It just wasn't, and you were overbought on the stochastics for a while and just nothing came from that. So now that there's a chance for you to show strength again, I don't think you will. I think that you will drop, and that's just using context. I could be wrong. Maybe this is a prime setup, but we've seen this before back here, actually. It's the exact kind of thing, and then boom, then you dump, man. You dumped all the way down. And then afterwards you pumped. We can keep our eyes open for stuff like that, but very similar situation, actually, to what we saw back here. It's also very similar to the situation that we saw here, right before this massive drop, and here, right before this massive drop. We went over that yesterday. Anyways, I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I think we're going to go lower, man. We're almost there. We're almost at the end of this thing, but I think we have a little lower to go. Take care. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.